My friend, I want you to understand something powerful today. God is working on you even while you rest. Healing is not only a daytime miracle, it is a nighttime reality. While your eyes are closed, while your body is resting, and while your mind is quiet, God is doing what no doctor, no medicine, and no man can do. He is restoring, renewing, and repairing every broken part of your life. So many people think they must strive, work harder, or prove themselves worthy to be healed. But the truth is, healing often comes when you surrender, when you finally rest, when you stop struggling and simply allow God to move. Tonight as you lay down, I want you to believe this: healing will meet you in your sleep. When you carry the stress, the pain, the fear of the day into the night, your body cannot rest. But when you release your burdens into God's hands, your spirit becomes light. That is when His healing power flows freely. Before you sleep, whisper, "Lord, I give you this day. I release every worry into your hands." The seed grows underground where no eye can see it, yet it grows. In the same way, your healing begins invisibly. While you sleep, cells regenerate, energy is restored, and divine power is at work. Trust that even if you don't see it yet, God is healing you in secret places. Your last words of the night matter. Instead of replaying the pain, declare life. Say, "I am healed, I am whole, I will wake up stronger." Your words plant seeds that bloom in the night. Before closing your eyes, imagine yourself walking free of pain, full of strength, smiling with joy. See yourself living the life you desire. As your body rests, your mind paints a picture that your spirit begins to manifest. An anxious heart blocks the flow of healing, but peace invites restoration. When you lie down with peace, your body resets. God's peace is more powerful than any medicine because peace is His presence wrapping around you. My friend, healing is not far from you. It's closer than the pillow under your head. Tonight as you rest, trust that God is healing you in ways you cannot imagine. Tomorrow, you may just wake up a new person, stronger, freer, and whole. When the day is done and the lights are off, most people carry with them the weight of every conversation, every worry, every pain, and every disappointment. They replay it in their minds, tossing and turning, unable to rest fully because their hearts are still clinging to the burdens of the day. Yet, the truth is, healing rarely flows into a heart that is holding tightly to stress and fear. Healing comes when we release, when we lay down not just our heads, but also our troubles. That is why the very first step to receiving healing in your sleep is to let go of the day. When you place your burdens in God's hands, you create the space for His power to work in you while you rest. It is like unclenching a fist that has been holding on too tightly. Only when it opens can it receive. Think of a child who runs to a parent with a broken toy. The child doesn't hold on to the toy and demand it be fixed at the same time. No, the child releases it into the parent's hands and trusts that it will be repaired. In the same way, when you enter into the night, you cannot expect healing while still clinging to fear and anxiety. You must release them. You must say, "Lord, I cannot carry this anymore, but I know you can." That simple act of surrender is not weakness. It is strength. It is the choice to trust God more than your worry, to trust His ability more than your own. There is something powerful that happens when you speak these words before bed. "Lord, I give you this day." It is not just a statement, it is an act of transfer. You are transferring the load from your shoulders to His. You are saying, "I refuse to take this weight into my sleep. I choose peace. I choose rest." And in that very moment, your spirit begins to quiet, your heart begins to soften, and your body begins to relax. That is when the healing atmosphere is created, because stress and healing cannot dwell in the same space. Stress constricts, but peace opens the door, and when you finally release, you will find that your sleep changes. Instead of restless tossing, you experience calm. Instead of shallow breathing, you breathe deeply. Instead of waking up drained, you wake up restored. This is not by accident. It is the natural response of a body that has been given the chance to heal. Just as your phone must be unplugged from distractions to recharge, so your spirit and body must be unplugged from worry to be renewed. Letting go of the day is that unplugging. It is saying, "I'm not in charge tonight, God is." The moment you do this, you align yourself with the other steps that follow. You can trust that God is working behind the scenes. You can speak life. You can visualize healing. You can embrace peace. And you can rise expecting a miracle. But none of it begins until you first decide to let go. Tonight, don't go to bed holding yesterday. Release it, and you will make room for tomorrow's miracle. When you finally let go of the day and lay your head on the pillow, you may wonder, what happens next? How will the healing take place? This is where the second truth becomes so vital. You must trust that God is working behind the scenes. Healing is not always something you can see with your natural eyes right away. It often begins in the invisible, deep within, where no one else can measure or detect it. Just like a seed that is buried in the soil, the miracle starts in silence, in secret, away from the noise of the world. Even while you are asleep, the seed of healing is growing. Cells are repairing, energy is being restored, and spiritual power is flowing into your body. Think about the mystery of sleep itself. You close your eyes, and without effort, your body begins its own natural process of repair. Muscles relax, tissues regenerate, the mind resets, and strength is replenished. You do nothing but rest, and yet restoration takes place. Now imagine when that natural design is touched by the supernatural hand of God. That is when healing moves from ordinary recovery to extraordinary transformation. Even though you can't see it, even though you may not feel it right away, He is knitting together the broken places and reviving what was weak. Too often, people miss this truth because they expect visible evidence instantly. They go to bed with pain, wake up with pain, and assume nothing has changed. But the work of God often begins invisibly before it manifests outwardly. Just because you don't see it yet doesn't mean it hasn't started. Faith is trusting that while you sleep, healing is advancing behind the curtain of the unseen. Just as roots grow beneath the soil long before a plant appears above it, your healing is unfolding beneath the surface of what you can perceive. This is why the posture of trust is so critical. When you rest with confidence, saying, God, I may not see it yet, but I know you are working, you align your spirit with the miracle process. That trust itself reduces fear, relaxes the body, and creates the ideal atmosphere for healing to flow unhindered. Worry, on the other hand, chokes the seed. If you doubt the unseen work, you disrupt the peace that healing needs to thrive. But when you trust, when you believe that every hour of your sleep is an hour of divine activity, you awaken with hope instead of despair, with strength instead of weakness. And this is the beauty of it. Your part is not to figure out how healing will happen. It is simply to rest in faith that it is happening. You do not dig up the seed every morning to check if it is growing. You water it with belief and wait for the harvest. The same applies to your body, your mind, and your soul. While you sleep, trust that God is behind the scenes, moving in ways you cannot yet see, preparing to reveal in the morning what He has been working on all night. Before drifting off to sleep, the words that come out of your mouth carry more power than most realize. Your final thoughts, your final declarations, and your final confessions shape the atmosphere of your rest and direct the course of your healing. Too many people end their day by rehearsing their pain, replaying their worries, or speaking defeat into their tomorrow. They whisper to themselves, I'll never get better, or nothing will change, and without knowing it, they are planting seeds of despair. But if you want to receive healing in your sleep, you must learn to speak a word of healing before you close your eyes. What you declare in faith sets the tone for what God can manifest as you rest. Think of your words like seeds planted in the soil of the night. The moment you say, if I am healed, I am whole, I will wake up stronger, those words begin working beneath the surface. Even though you may not see the fruit instantly, those declarations are alive. They carry spiritual weight, and they align your body with divine truth. Science itself confirms that words shape the body's response. When you speak peace, the body calms. When you speak hope, the body releases strength. How much more when you speak God's truth over yourself? You are not just making statements. You are partnering with heaven to establish healing in your body. Imagine two people going to bed with the same sickness. One repeats fear, doubt, and pain. The other whispers healing, life, and faith. The next day, though both may still feel weakness, one has stirred despair while the other has cultivated expectation. Which one do you think positions themselves for quicker recovery? The one who spoke healing. Words are not wasted. They either water your faith or starve it. By choosing life-giving words before you sleep, you invite healing power to flow unhindered. And do not underestimate the simplicity of this act. It does not require long speeches or memorized prayers. A few sincere words of faith can shift your night, saying, Lord, thank you that healing is working me right now. I am whole. I am free. May seem small, but it plants a mighty seed. Those words echo in your subconscious, in your spirit, and in the very atmosphere of your room while you sleep. Instead of fear filling the silence, faith fills it. Instead of anxiety shaping your dreams, peace carries you. As you continue this practice night after night, you will notice that your mornings begin to change. You will not wake up dreading the day, but expecting something good. Your body will begin to align with the declarations you made the night before. Speaking a word of healing before bed is not just a ritual. It is a weapon, a shield, and a bridge. It carries you from the struggles of the day into the possibilities of tomorrow. That is why, every night, choose to speak life. Your last words before sleep may very well be the doorway to your miracle. When you prepare to rest at night, there is a powerful practice that can stir up faith and open the door for healing, and that is to see yourself whole before you close your eyes. The mind has a language that the body listens to, and when you fill it with images of weakness, sickness, and struggle, your body responds in agreement. But when you fill your imagination with pictures of health, freedom, and strength, your body begins to align with that vision. Visualization is not just a mental exercise, it is a faith exercise. It is you choosing to agree with the reality of healing before you feel it. Think about an athlete preparing for a race. Long before the race begins, they see themselves crossing the finish line. They rehearse it in their mind until their body naturally follows what their imagination has already accepted. In the same way, when you go to bed, don't see yourself bound by pain. See yourself walking with energy, smiling with joy, living without limitation. As you create that image in your heart and mind, your spirit begins to accept it as truth, and your body begins to respond. The mind and spirit were never meant to be in conflict. They were designed to work together in faith. Visualization becomes especially powerful at night because your subconscious is most active while you sleep. Whatever picture you set before your mind as you drift off becomes the canvas your spirit paints on while you rest. If you see yourself broken, you reinforce brokenness. But if you see yourself healed, you reinforce wholeness. That image works deep inside of you where natural medicine cannot reach. It plants hope, it builds faith, and it gives God a clear picture of what you are believing for. And this is not about denying reality. You may still feel pain, you may still face symptoms, but faith is not denial, it is agreement with a greater truth. Faith does not ignore the sickness. It declares that healing is greater. By visualizing yourself healed, you are not pretending, you are aligning with what God has already promised. You are giving your spirit permission to rise above what the body feels in the moment. And while you rest, that alignment allows healing power to move more freely through you. Night after night, this simple act of seeing yourself whole will begin to change the way you wake up. Instead of dragging yourself into the morning expecting the same pain, you will rise with expectation that something has shifted. Over time, your body begins to mirror what your spirit has been rehearsing. Healing often begins in the imagination before it manifests in the flesh. That is why, as you lie down tonight, close your eyes and choose to see not the sickness but the wholeness. Let that vision carry you into your sleep, and trust that by morning, you will be one step closer to living the picture you held in your heart. When the night comes and you finally lay down, there is something far more powerful than the softness of your mattress or the weight of your blanket. It is the peace that surrounds you. Peace is the true pillow that allows healing to flow. Without peace, the body remains tense, the heart remains restless, and the mind cannot quiet down enough to allow restoration to take place. Anxiety is like a thief in the night. It robs you of rest and shuts the door to the healing your body desperately needs. But when you allow peace to cover you, it creates an atmosphere where your body, mind, and spirit can be renewed. Think of a stormy sea with waves crashing violently. No boat can sail smoothly in that chaos. But when the waters are calm, the boat moves freely to its destination. In the same way, anxiety stirs chaos inside of you, keeping you from moving toward health. Peace, however, stills the waves and clears the path. When you go to sleep with peace in your heart, your body finally finds the calm it needs to begin repairing itself. Muscles relax, breathing deepens, stress hormones lower, and healing begins to flow like a gentle river. Peace is not something the world can always provide. You may have every circumstance still shouting at you, every problem still unresolved, yet you can choose to embrace peace in the middle of it. Peace is not the absence of trouble, it is the presence of God resting on you. When you close your eyes and whisper, "Lord, wrap me in your peace," something supernatural happens. A stillness greater than your fear settles over you. A quiet confidence assures you that you are not alone, and that assurance itself releases the tension holding your body hostage. Science confirms what the spirit already knows: a peaceful state of mind accelerates healing. Stress delays recovery, but peace speeds it up. That is why peace is not optional. It is essential. You must choose to let go of the noise, the worries, and the what-ifs before bed. You must choose to rest, not just physically, but inwardly. Imagine yourself laying every concern at God's feet like a heavy bag dropped at the door. Walk into your rest without carrying it any further. That is when your sleep becomes sweet, your breathing steady, and your healing accelerated. And when you rise after a night of peace, you will feel the difference. Your heart will be lighter, your mind clearer, and your body stronger. Healing may not always be instant, but peace ensures it is consistent. Night after night, peace builds a foundation for complete restoration. So tonight, don't just rely on your pillow. Invite peace to be your true rest. Let it cradle you, calm you, and carry you into the healing that awaits in your sleep. When morning comes, the way you rise from your bed matters just as much as how you went into it. Too often, people wake up, immediately scan their body for pain, and if they feel the same discomfort, they declare nothing has changed. But that mindset blocks the miracle that began working while you were asleep. Healing is a process that often starts beneath the surface before it shows outwardly. That's why the final key is this: wake up expecting a miracle. Expectation is the bridge that carries what is unseen into what is seen. If you rise with doubt, you shut the door. If you rise with faith, you open it wide. Expectation is not wishful thinking. It is confident assurance that God has already been working through the night. Even if your symptoms remain, your faith declares, something has shifted in me. Just as a seed is alive and growing underground even before it breaks through the soil, your healing has been growing in the unseen parts of your body and spirit. When you choose to expect a miracle, you align yourself with the truth that God never sleeps, and He has been restoring you all along. This attitude transforms how you face the day. Instead of dragging yesterday's weakness into today, you carry a sense of anticipation. You say to yourself, today I will see progress. Today I will feel stronger. Today, my miracle is unfolding. That kind of faith-filled expectation not only lifts your spirit, but it also energizes your body. Studies even show that people who expect healing recover faster. The mind and body respond to hope. But more importantly, expectation is the language of faith. It tells heaven that you are ready to receive what has already been provided. You don't need to see the entire miracle in one moment to celebrate. Thank God for the smallest shift, the lightest relief, the tiniest sign of progress. Rejoice in it, because gratitude for the little opens the door for the greater. As you expect and celebrate, you are watering the seed of healing that was planted during the night. Doubt digs it up, but expectation nourishes it until it manifests in fullness. Mindset blocks the miracle that began working while you were asleep. Healing is a process that often starts beneath the surface before it shows outwardly. That's why the final key is this: wake up expecting a miracle. Expectation is the bridge that carries what is unseen into what is seen. If you rise with doubt, you shut the door. If you rise with faith, you open it wide. Expectation is not wishful thinking. It is confident assurance that God has already been working through the night. Even if your symptoms remain, your faith declares, something has shifted in me. Just as a seed is alive and growing underground even before it breaks through the soil, your healing has been growing in the unseen parts of your body and spirit. When you choose to expect a miracle, you align yourself with the truth that God never sleeps, and He has been restoring you all along. This attitude transforms how you face the day. Instead of dragging yesterday's weakness into today, you carry a sense of anticipation. You say to yourself, today I will see progress. Today I will feel stronger. Today, my miracle is unfolding. That kind of faith-filled expectation not only lifts your spirit, but it also energizes your body. Studies even show that people who expect healing recover faster. The mind and body respond to hope. But more importantly, expectation is the language of faith. It tells heaven that you are ready to receive what has already been provided. You don't need to see the entire miracle in one moment to celebrate. Thank God for the smallest shift, the lightest relief, the tiniest sign of progress. Rejoice in it, because gratitude for the little opens the door for the greater. As you expect and celebrate, you are watering the seed of healing that was planted during the night. Doubt digs it up, but expectation nourishes it until it manifests in fullness. Peace becomes the atmosphere that wraps around you, like a soft blanket that quiets the storms raging within. In that place of stillness, healing flows freely. The stress that once choked your spirit is replaced with calm, and your body begins to respond in ways medicine cannot fully explain. Peace is God's presence, and when you invite that presence into your sleep, you invite the very power that restores and renews. That is why peace is more than comfort. It is a key to your healing. And when the morning comes, your responsibility is to rise with expectation. Even if the outward evidence has not fully appeared, you must believe that the unseen work has already begun. Expectation is faith in motion. It tells God, I believe you have been working while I was sleeping, and I believe today I will see the fruit of it. That kind of faith is unstoppable. It draws the invisible into the visible, and it positions you to see transformation in ways you never thought possible. So tonight, when you lay down, don't just sleep, surrender. Don't just dream, believe. Don't just rest your body, Rest your spirit in the assurance that God heals you while you sleep. Tomorrow can be different. Tomorrow can be lighter, freer, and stronger. The miracle does not have to wait for another day. It can begin tonight, right where you are, right as you are. All it takes is faith to receive it. Thank you for being with me today and for opening your heart to this message. My prayer is that as you sleep tonight, you will sense God's peace covering you and His healing power flowing through you. May you rise tomorrow with renewed strength, restored hope, and a fresh expectation of miracles. Remember, healing is yours, and it begins the moment you believe. God bless you. Thank you for listening, and until next time, rest in His peace, expect His promises, and never forget, your healing is closer than you think. Good night and goodbye.